What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy back last scene. We back with another video, Incognito. And today for you guys, we got 3 scary true find my iPhone horror stories. Of course, this is brought to you by Mr. Nightmare on his channel. Originally in the description box down below was actually linked to his channel, so you guys can check out all his content and everything. I know I might look a little sleepy because I am. I think I'm recording this video. This would be literally midnight recording this video. So, we'll get through this anyway. Like I said, I need to still bring content to you guys. I know I haven't been bringing content for like the last couple of days. Been working and things like that, and all that in my personal life. But anyway, like I say, 3 true scary find my iPhone horror stories. So, without further ado, man, like, share, subscribe on this video, man. Without further ado, man, let's go. See, I have an iPhone, so let's see how does this, you know, I'm wondering. Kind of curious, really, to be honest with you.
I went to a bar with a couple friends one Saturday night. We got really drunk and eventually all spread out throughout the bar as we went to talk to different people. Long story short, I was having a bad night, and I wasn't feeling the whole bar scene really. I called an Uber home, which was about 15 minutes away. The Uber pulled up, but instead some old, crappy-looking 2003 or something Honda Accord pulls up in front of the bar. I knocked on the window and asked, "Mike?" He nodded, so I got in the passenger seat, only because the front seat was covered with books and other stuff that appeared to be junk. In fact, the entire car was messy, the back seats too.
Okay, I know this might be just kind of a little weird just to say, but I could have swore when you do Uber or Lyft, you gotta have like a 2000 and was it 2005 or is it like 2006 or 2000? Is it 2004 to 2007 or newer car, not 2003? I might be wrong. I don't know, because I was trying to do that or whatever. I could have swore that was like the whole thing with the whole years, but like I say,
didn't seem like the kind of Uber driver to joke around and make conversation with. He was on the older side, not that old, but his hair was thinning, and based on what I could see of his face, he looked kind of unfriendly. So I kept silent. I was pretty drunk though, so I barely remember what I was doing. Probably drunk texting people and whatnot. I'm telling you, I was blackout drunk because I don't remember even getting out of the car. All I really remember is waking up the next morning and realizing my phone was missing. I checked everywhere. I practically turned my whole room upside down looking for it. Eventually, after hours of searching, I came to the unfortunate acceptance that I must have lost my phone the night before. I had my brother text all my friends asking if they had my phone. All of them said no. Then I remembered I recently activated Find My iPhone. I excitedly told my brother to track my phone using the Find My iPhone app. Sure enough, my iPhone came up on the map. It was a few miles away, on the much worse side of town, the part of town everyone knew not to go to. My brother agreed to come with me, not only to help track the phone, but to serve as backup if needed. We pulled up to what appeared to be the house that the iPhone on the map was sitting over. It was a small box-like house. 2 windows in front, 1 window on the upper level. It was either 8 or 9 p.m., still early, so my brother and I went ahead and rang the doorbell. It didn't seem like the bell worked though, so I knocked really hard on the door. We could actually hear footsteps on a creaky wood floor approaching the front door, then silence.
I'm just gonna say this. The Uber driver. Point blank period. That's who houses is. If it's not, then I don't know, but that's all I'm gonna chunk it up to. That's the Uber driver's house that took him to his house the other day.
There was a peephole in the door, so I had a feeling someone was watching us through it at that very moment. After an uncomfortably long silence, the door cracked open and someone asked who it is in a very raspy, almost familiar voice. We mentioned the lost iPhone situation. At first he played dumb. When I turned to the driveway and recognized the old Honda Accord, I called him out for being my Uber driver and that I must have dropped my phone in his car. At this point he opened the door fully and revealed himself to indeed be my Uber driver. Now he acted like he remembered, but his whole persona and everything was disturbing. He clearly didn't know what social cues were, or forget that, he clearly just didn't know what social skills were. He told us to come in and shut the door behind us. Then he told us to wait there while he went upstairs to find my phone. I thanked him, and as creepy as the guy was, I felt relieved that I'd be getting my phone back. My brother and I stood in the tiny hallway of this man's tiny house. It was so archaic inside. The finishing, the design, everything. The floral wallpaper covering all of the walls looked like it belonged in a house built in the 1930s. The stairs that the man walked up were creaky and sounded like they were ready to collapse. We heard the man walking around upstairs for a bit. The creakiness followed.
See, man, this is what I'm saying. Like, no, it's just, bro, just get my phone and I'm out and I'm done. Even probably you could have just went up there with the guy to get your phone so then you can get out, because it shouldn't be all this. It's too much extraness. It's too extra for me. I don't know. What about you guys? If you was in this, like, would you go up there with them to go find a phone, or would you stay downstairs with your brother?
We stepped until we heard him stop directly overhead. My brother and I patiently played the waiting game, with my checking my watch every minute or so. He seemed to be up there for a total of 10 minutes. My brother and I got so impatient at this point that we started calling up the stairs, asking the man if he needed help. We heard a slight creak in the floor right above us again, but he didn't call back. My brother told me to go upstairs and check if he needed help, so I hesitantly did. As I got halfway up the stairs, I realized it was insanely dark up there, which made me wonder how he could even possibly be looking for my phone. I got to the top. There seemed to be 3 open doors, one leading to a bathroom, the other 2 leading to bedrooms. All the lights were off except for a little hallway nightlight. I called out for the man again, to no avail. I called down the stairs to my brother, saying that all the lights were off and something wasn't right. He didn't answer for some reason. I checked the bathroom, empty. I was about to check one of the bedrooms, passing the door to the bathroom, but I stopped when I saw something through the crack of the bathroom door. The man, he was hiding behind the door, holding something in his hand. I felt like he was looking at me, but I didn't look for more than a second. I looked away and pretended I didn't notice. I had to get downstairs ASAP. I nervously called out to the man that I'd be going downstairs and that I'd be right back. I walked with a certain speed and jumped my step right to the stairs, at which point I booked it and screamed for my brother to follow me. My brother emerged from one of the other rooms downstairs after apparently snooping around, and without questioning it, followed me outside to the car. We drove down the block as I explained in full what happened. The next thing we did was dial 911 for the police. An officer showed up to the house where we returned, showed the officer the Find My iPhone app screen, and knocked on the door with the officer. The man would eventually answer, and the officer forced the man to fetch the phone. This time he did without hesitation. He went up the stairs and 10 seconds later came back down. My brother and I begged the officer to arrest him or do something, given that he looked as if he were waiting to strike me as he was behind that door. The officer said there was nothing he could do though, and I swear as I said this, the Uber driver looked at me with the most disgusting, disturbing, and evil stare I'd ever seen. I gave him the middle finger and turned away as we left the house, which felt good slightly, but I still get scared.
That's good though. That's good that he was able to do that though.
Very clearly holding something in his hand, most likely waiting to attack me if I were to see him. Before I got an iPhone 10, I used to have an iPhone 7. I was perfectly fine with that phone, and I never got a scratch on it. I'd probably still have that phone now if I didn't lose it. I always had the Find My iPhone feature enabled, however, just in case if I did lose it, I'd be able to track it. To this day, I still don't remember how or where I lost the phone. All I remember is I came home one day, quickly realized I didn't have my phone on me, and had a mini heart attack. I searched the whole house, my car, the pathway up to the house. I even drove back to all the locations I was in that night to look for it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Then I remembered I could sign into my iCloud account from my laptop and track my iPhone using the Find My iPhone setting. So I drove
Smart
home and
man.
did just that.
Very smart man.
Apparently my phone was coming up somewhere in the woods at the end of the village. None of my siblings were home at the time. They were all away at school, so I couldn't
How would your
ask
phone
any
be
of
in
them
the
to come
woods
with me.
though?
So it looked like I was heading out alone.
Seems like stuff like
My dad
that.
didn't
You
want
know,
me to come because he had work early the next morning, but he let me take his phone with me to track my phone. It was a quick 5 to 10 minute drive to the woods. I parked on the grass on the side of the road. It seemed like I was maybe a minute walk north away. Obviously I brought my flashlight expecting to be following the trail into the woods. Now that I stood there though, the idea of going in there was a lot less appealing. In fact, the whole situation seemed more suspicious. Such as why whoever found my phone would be in the middle of the dark woods at 10 o'clock. I definitely shouldn't have come alone, but at this point I didn't see much more of a choice than following the trail. The flashlight I had sucked. It barely lit up the trail 5 feet in front of me. Eventually it seemed like I was right on the mark of the location for my phone. I did a full 360, examining my surroundings, but seeing nothing but darkness and trees. I started yelling for somebody to come out. It was the first time I heard my own voice in an
see,
alley.
like at this moment right here, I don't even care about my phone. Get back in the car. I'm going home. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. I'm cut the flashlight off. I'm getting the keys. I'm gone. I just give me a new phone or something. Whatever. I don't care. I'm see, like stuff like this, man. Stuff like this, y'all. You have to think about your life. You can get another phone. You cannot get another one of you. You cannot get another one of you, but you can get another phone. Just saying. So I'm saying, like, point blank period.
And it came out weak and unintimidating. When I called out, I heard a whispering come from beyond a few trees, in the east direction on my map. I yelled out again. Silence this time now. I started sending texts with my dad's phone to my phone, and I heard the dings coming from the same direction as the whispering. I looked in that direction and saw the glow of a phone screen so bright that it lit up the figures of 2, maybe 3 men standing behind a line of trees. At that exact moment, I had a realization in my head that I was in way over my head being in those woods alone, and that my iPhone was in no way worth risking my life. I turned the flashlight off and ran back down the trail as fast as I could, back to my car. By the time I got back, my phone could no longer be located on the Find My iPhone app, meaning it was either broken, disconnected, or turned off. I have checked a few times since then if the phone comes up on the map. It never has though. I think I made the right choice running away. I don't think any possession would be worth approaching a group of people like that in the woods. I recently lost my iPhone. It was a 5C, a really old one. I was due for another one anyway.
But I said it though. I just said that though. Nope. You can get another one of these. You can definitely get another one of these. You can get another one of these. But you cannot get another one of you. Yourself. Me. Whatever. Whoever it is. You cannot get another one of these. You only get one of these. You can get tons of these. One of these. I'm telling you. It's never worth it. It's never worth it.
I'll tell you the story of how I lost it. I had admittedly been drinking one night on the weekends, and at some point in the night I lost my phone. Later on in the night, when my friends and I sobered up a bit, I asked one of my friends to let me use their phone to track mine using the Find My iPhone thing. It wasn't too far actually, only a mile away from us, but that meant someone took my phone. My friend Ryan and I took a drive to this abandoned warehouse building. Of course, it had to be an abandoned building. We found a way inside, with only Rye's phone flashlight to use for navigation. The place was cold, full with trash and rubble, and every little sound created an echo. We heard yelling coming from upstairs, from what sounded like 2 people.
See, this is what I'm saying. Okay, you put your find my iPhone thing. Okay, you know you've been drinking. Okay, you know somebody stole your phone. So, okay, I can understand if it's like a house you pull up to. You pull up to an abandoned warehouse. A warehouse is a big place, and it's abandoned, and it's only you and your friend. Come on, man. And it's at night. Like, come on, man. Like, no, you don't do this. You do not do this. You at least, if you gonna check this place, this warehouse, you gotta get the cops or something. Like, you gotta get a lot more people than just you and your friend. If you're gonna try to search a giant warehouse, which most likely is gonna be one person or at least a couple people in there that has your phone. You know?
Ryan and I figured one of them had to have my phone. So still, with a slight amount of liquid confidence in us, we found a stairway that led to the next level. We came to a hallway, which was disturbingly silent. The only thing to break the silence was a bang from a nearby locker room type area. Ryan and I both tried hard to make our presence known so that we wouldn't surprise any potentially dangerous people. We entered this kind of changing room area, or whatever it was, but it had a bunch of lockers. No one was in the room. I started checking the lockers out of desperation, which made a lot of noise, I guess, because we heard a deep voice from another room call us over and said that they had what we were looking for. I was about to walk into the adjacent room, but Rai put his hand on my shoulder to stop me and put his finger on his lips as he went, shh. He was doing something on his phone. I didn't know what until I heard my ringtone and the vibration of my phone coming from one of the lockers. There were too many to distinguish quick enough which one it could be. I started checking the ones where the sound could have been coming from before Rai pulled me by the arm and told me, let's go. I told him, wait, let me get my phone first, but he kept saying, no, let's go. By the time we got to the car, we had a long discussion about what was going down in there, or what was about to go down. Rai was positive we were walking straight into a trap. How he was so sure was because as I was checking the lockers for my phone, he spotted someone's head behind one of the walls to the adjacent room. They were peering their head in just barely, making it obvious they were hiding and had questionable intentions. It wasn't the end of the world. It was an old iPhone that wouldn't have been worth much anyway. It was much better to escape with our wallets, or even our lives instead.
See, and that's the end of the video right there. But like I said, man, it's whatever. Like if you lose one of your new iPhones or whatever, the iPhone 10, iPhone X, whatever you call it, iPhone 8 Plus, whatever you call it. If you lose it, man, you got to find my iPhone, man, and you get into any situation like this, man, like I say, just go ahead and just go back to your house or wherever. Like, don't even see, because like this right here, you don't go, because look, you in a warehouse or whatever, and it's just you and your friend. Now see, if you didn't have your friend there and you just wanted to just be by yourself and you wanted to go for your iPhone by yourself, man, you probably would have been dead right now. Or at least you probably would have been beat up so bad you wouldn't even knew where you were or whatever. You know, it's just so many things that can happen to you. Like, God forbid, it's just so many things, it's just in my head right now that can happen to you. And see, it's just, like I say, ladies, gentlemen, kids, whoever be watching my channel, man, like I said, you only get one of you. You can get tons of iPhones at any time or whatever. You can replace that at any time. But like I said, just don't do this. Don't go into all these other places. Like a house, yeah, like the guy did with the house or whatever. That's understandable because he brought in a cop and all that later, and cool. But this warehouse and all this other type of situation, no, it's no point. But I'm rambling on too long. This thing going on 20 minutes anyway. So like I say, man, it's me, boy Incognito, man. Like, share, and subscribe on this video, man. And I'm out. Peace.
I don't wanna be alone.